Welcome to your transit forecast report. This is the Peace Dealer, and I hope you gain the utmost of quality from this report. Very grateful to hear from you again. And yeah, we are getting ready to step into the solstice. So we're going to look into, of course, this summer season. Okay. Obviously that's Cancer season, that's Leo season, and that's also Virgo season. The lineup that we have this summer is incredulously epic. And so, yeah, I think it's definitely going to really reveal a whole lot. Okay. It definitely is going to include the Jupiter-Saturn square. Okay. Right as we begin Cancer season. And then with Leo season, we're going to have the Mercury retrograde, and Mars transiting the South Node in Virgo near your rising. And then we will actually have in September the South Nodal eclipse that will complete unlocking your rising. Okay. Of course, we know you're progressed. Sun and rising have shifted. So relative to your natal chart, since March was where we actually had an exact, seventh house eclipse with Saturn and with the North Node and with Neptune. The purpose of this was to actually unlock, your divine partnership potential. I was going to say unlock your dream life or dream relationships, but really this is your sponsorship of divine partnerships. It's even cooler because your moon is in Pisces. So as a divine creator goddess, you are throughout this period unlocking the real nature of this masterful embodiment of your personality so that you could extend that towards your soul and unlock the more divine metaphysical attributes of this soul space. And now that Saturn has made it into the seventh house portion of your chart, a period like this in transit prepares one for marriage, for business partnerships, even for divorce. All right. It raises the standards of your partners, of your relationship style and partnerships. I'm so curious. I have to see how this affects your progressed. I tried my hardest to hold back. All right. Yep. I figured. So your rising is progressed in Libra. Oh my God. I'm so glad I looked. Your sun is 0 degrees Aquarius. So you're still also being heavily influenced by the Pluto 3 degrees in Aquarius, as we can see right here. So you have recently, of course, also, gone through this extreme spiritual awakening, making you a portal of some sorts. And then I love that you are like our OG, like all of us born with Pluto and Scorpio. We look at you guys as the OGs. Like there's certain people who were born like past 2000s. And they look at those born in 96 and 97, like the NBA young boys and the Kylie Jenners, like those born after 2000, those are their OGs. Like they look at them as like, oh yeah, we grew up on them. We look at you guys as our OGs. Those of us born like 1990 and 1989, like we listen to people born 84, 83, 86. So it's very important what's happening to you guys right now, because unlike us, where we have our Pluto like 15 degrees Scorpio, you guys have it at 1 degree. You're the very first people to go through this Pluto square. And we're watching you in horror like, Oh my God. Like if anything bad happens to you guys, we know we're fucked. But like if you guys actually are going through this good, then we could be excited. You know what I mean? Especially because, given the nature of the world economy and everything like that, we're the ones that are gonna have to kind of inherit all that. So yeah, I'm sure it won't be horrible, but yeah, that being said, Pluto is on a chopping block, and the square that it's making to your Pluto from the 5th to the 2nd is extremely integrating this, extraordinary creativity that near 2044 will be in your 6th house natally and eventually now integrate into your lifestyle. Regardless, that square is integrating. It's a full 90 degrees that's going to begin to break through the ground this deepened quality of your heart and the karma attached to that as well. The integrity and authority that is extremely defined here. All right. It's gangsta basically. All right. So Gemini season has been a checkpoint in between Pisces and Virgo. And the purpose of unlocking this new cycle of relationships, well, the North Node's now in your 6th, unlocking, the belief system around how you live your life and how this shift of your behavior impacts your relationships. And by the time we get to Virgo, this checkpoint that has now unlocked and broken through your career, right? We're going to talk about this, is eventually going to be in the 12th house region in Virgo, which is going to release with the South Node unconscious habits around how it is you express your personality to prepare you for March of 2026, where now that you have unlocked the mastery of your own being, this is going to reconstitute the perspective of how you form new behavioral patterns now that you've released what no longer applies, right? And prepare to, of course, really change how you feel you relate to other people, what you believe you're meant to be living in your life. Okay. This is a contrast from last year with the North Node in Aries that unlocked the individual actions you're meant to do to secure, who you trust in partnerships. So why is this amazing? One, as a Sagittarius sun, this Jupiter transit that went through Gemini and this Gemini season that we're concluding was opposite your sun. So you were aware of this, of course, relative to other people. And as a progressed Aqua sun, it was Leo signature of 5th house. So Gemini season was not only around how creatively you hold space with other people and how much more creatively you can express your talents towards other people, but now how these relationships you are aware of opposite your sun with other people that stimulate your creativity actively have evolved your career. And now since late 2016, where Jupiter went through your rising, you have completed this cycle of evolution. You have completed this evolution cycle. All right. You've harvested it since late 2022. And now coming out of Jupiter in Gemini, as it goes through Cancer, you gain the rewards through Leo, which will be conjunct the South Node, you're going to be stepping into completion and the rewards of this evolution. The most significant facet here is Jupiter at this stage, because now you are in accomplishment land. You have literally expanded what the true legacy of everything you're meant to achieve is, especially with the North Node that's going to really also expand this karmic portal or this destiny portal, aligning you to be in the right place in the right time. And the opposition to your Sag Sun would suggest that it's your awareness of who you're partnering with that provides these opportunities, or you also provide opportunities with it for. It's going to really speak of your partnership with success. It's like you married to the game. All right. And this is where the square with Jupiter, all right, and Saturn in your chart is going to represent how this expansion of everything you perceived, right? Because Jupiter here has expanded what you perceive success is. And of course, what more you could achieve. So now you are applying that perspective by moving in that direction. You're going to feel the direction to move into. Your MC has progressed to the end of Cancer. So what this is going to do at 29 degrees as Jupiter gets closer into Leo is it's in a natal sense, as you apply this perspective moving forward, you're going to be feeling the accomplishments you are gaining. As you, before that 11th house cusp, are feeling this expansion of what more you are doing to achieve this success. So it's actually very exciting. And now Saturn and Neptune in the 7th are the buffer with which the constriction of who you are enabling in your partnerships, of course, provide this authority and control so you don't expand too far up. But at the same time, Jupiter is going to challenge Saturn and Neptune so that partnerships with others don't hold you back or constrict you too much from expanding and gaining more success as you're meant to. So, of course, the key factor here is how creative connections and partnerships with others directly relate with success or hold you back from success. And that's what this square is going to rocket propeller you towards. All right. The Neptunian aspect here is reimagining the authority and control with Saturn with around how you're raising the standards of your partnerships. And of course, it's going to eventually king-hunct your Saturn, but as it's king-hunting Pluto, and will retrograde back into Pisces to reevaluate how this karmic authority shifts and revisits everything you believe you're meant to. Because in March, you unlocked everything you believe you're meant to establish in partnerships with others. So by the time we come back in the Virgo season with the eclipse, the sun will have retrograded back in, the Saturn will have retrograded back into Pisces with the sun at the end of Virgo opposite this. And now everything in March, which was like, you know what? I believe I'm meant to achieve this in relationships. I believe I want a partnership like this, right? Then you're going to analyze at the end of Virgo, oh, this is what I believed before. This is how I was able to achieve this over the past 6 months. And I think I believe this now. You know, I believe this back in March, but now that I'm seeing the details of how it actually plays out, I think I believe it even more, or I think I'm going to adjust my beliefs to this. So the checkpoint through Gemini broke through what you began to unlock in March relative to the thought process of what that success begins to look like. And now, of course, 6 months relative of developing your partnerships with others shifts your own personality. And that's what's going to lead to Virgo. But before then, of course, Cancer is going to begin this expansion process while Mars moves into Virgo. I mean, I think Mars is in Virgo pretty much today. And so it's going to begin the process in your 12th house of releasing this analysis. You may feel a little bit lethargic, but as it leaves your rising next month, it's going to return that energy, literally with the return. And until then, of course, as the sun goes into Leo, we will see a retrograde, which with Mercury will not only reevaluate now the courage and boldness that goes into who's in your corner and how, you know, Mars here puts you ahead of time to be around the right event spaces. Mars in Leo is like you prepared a party, an event ahead of time so that when we're in August, you're going to see all the actions you took, right? Getting the party ready. And so Mercury retrograde is going to reevaluate now that you've expanded more this evolutionary completion, you know, who's in your corner, how much more boldly can you express these developments that have recently occurred to and with who? And then also the Pluto opposition that you conjuncted in your 5th house, right? That you will be harvesting in your 11th house supernaturally on top of your progressed sun that will also be opposed during this period. So great harvest on the MC. You definitely want to take into account, you know, the last month of July, especially this new moon that we're going to have once again opposite Pluto. Intense, extreme, important, and sextile Uranus in Gemini. I think this is going to be a very interesting period, seeing these 3 pillars of the new age effectively activated. All right, which we know with Uranus coming in on that Chiron, innovating your natural healing, that's definitely going to rev things up as Uranus goes through over the rest of the decade over your MC. It's going to innovate unconventionally everything Jupiter expanded as far as what you're meant to achieve. And then, of course, once we step into Vega season, the new moon is going to now revisit everything you have begun to unlock in March, so that you can come into an analytical awareness and understanding of how what you believed you can, accomplish with other people has now unlocked how you engage and approach with others and really express yourself. That's going to harvest this destiny eclipse and then set up the next 6 months to March of 2026, where we will accordingly not only unlock and conclude this Pisces transit, but really prepare for this next era, and then eventually the North Node unlock your progressed Aqua Sun. So that's what to expect over the next 3 months coming into the summer solstice. It's a little bit here and there. Definitely looking forward to your feedback. And until next time, peace.